Hi, my name is John Teachin. I'm a catcher on the UIS baseball team. I'm also a senior as well.
My name is Kara Bowe, and I'm also a senior, and I'm a strength and conditioning intern that works with all our athletes at UIS.
I'm Morgan Edwards. I'm a senior on the softball team, and I also am a strength and conditioning intern.
My name is Kevin Claiborne, again a senior, and again a strength and conditioning intern. So part of the class we're in here, this is for testing and prescription, and sort of just to kind of give you a brief overview of what it is it's kind of our senior year, like just cumulative class, right? And so it's not really that we go in learning a whole lot, it's just kind of set up for us to go in and kind of prove what we've already learned leading up to this year. And so one of those opportunities is this chance for us to come out and talk to you guys about this. And so today we're going to be talking about the benefits of balance and flexibility throughout the lifespan. And so to just kind of start that off, right, I have the definitions of balance and flexibility right here. So balance is the even distribution of weight, enabling someone to remain upright and steady, while flexibility is the range of motion in a joint or group of joints, or the ability to move joints effectively throughout a complete range of motion. And so just kind of the reason why we chose to talk about balance and flexibility is when you talk about the physical activity guidelines, there's really three main parts. There is cardiovascular endurance, there's total body strength training, and then kind of thrown off to the side is balance and flexibility. And so we just wanted to talk about that with you guys. And then being, as you age throughout the year, throughout your life, one of the main injuries that happens is from falling, right? And so if we can help you guys learn something about balance and flexibility and try to help out with that, then hopefully then we have decreased rates of falls. So, Morgan.
Yeah. Okay. So Kara and I are kind of talking more about balance, and so as you age, your balance decreases, and we tend to sway and fall more as you age. The change your change in balance with age is still not known as well, so we don't understand why we lose our balance as we age. But hip fractures are one of the most common injuries with balance, and it's about 90% in the United States. The key to preventing falls is limiting your trunk motion. So we can do that through task-specific training and whole body training.
And to add to that, I'd also like to say single leg strength is a big indicator of balance as well. So if you can build your single leg strength a little higher than it already is, that'll also help. I have these handouts here that will show you guys just some simple exercises that you can use to work on your balance. And we will go through them here with you. And if you guys feel like participating, you're welcome to. If you don't, no worries. And we'll go through them from the top left, kind of in a 3-column formation. So we'll start with some single leg pulls, which again will work on your single leg balance and overall just kind of strength if you're kind of getting new into doing this kind of thing. So Morgan will demonstrate. Just a simple single leg pull will be just coming up off of one leg and holding. If you are having problems balancing, you can always hold on to a chair to start as a progression. And then if you want to get even more, make it more difficult after you progress, you can even add some weight, or you can bring your leg up higher. That'll be a little more challenging. Number 2 is side leg raises, which is just bringing your foot out to the side of your body, which works your abductors and your adductors, which are the muscles on the sides of your legs pretty much. And again, you can regress it to holding on a chair to help you with your balance at first. And again, if you want to make it harder, you can always add weight to it or try and move your leg even further out.
Yeah, make sure you're doing both legs, the same amount on both sides.
The third one on here is just a simple calf raise. So these can be done double leg or single leg, depending upon how advanced you feel. So this would be the 2 leg. You're just coming up on your toes, holding and then coming back down. And again, if you need to, you can use the chair for extra help. And then again, if you want to make them a little harder, you can always add weight. when you go to do them. And then the single leg one would just be like, just going on your one leg on that balance, going up and coming back down. And the same progression of regression would be used for that one as well. Another one that would be used for balance would be march in place, which is really just working on like your motion while you're balancing. So it's just a simple up and down with your foot. And if you want to make it harder, you can make it, maybe even make it to like high knees where you go a little quicker. The fifth one would be a tightrope walk, which a lot of people know this one from like sobriety tests with police officers. That's the best way I know how to describe it. So for this one, you would pretty much try and walk in a straight line, heel to toe the whole time. And if you need to, you can always put your arms out for extra help. And then obviously, if you're pretty good at it, you don't fall over. So another good one would be a bodyweight squat. So bodyweight squat is just from your upright position, you're just going down into a squat, however low you can go. And again, with this one, you can use a chair for help and assistance as well. And then it just depends on how far you can go. If you want to make it more challenging, you try and go a little farther down into a squat. If you can't, that's okay too. Number 7, which is in the middle of the sheet here, is called rock the boat, which is pretty much working on the swaying pattern that people like seem to demonstrate as we age. And so it's really focusing on when you're swaying to like plant a foot into the ground, hold that balance, and then sway back. So you can feel that difference of your weight shifting, and you can kind of stop it a little easier. Number 8 would be a flamingo stand, which is similar to the single leg hold, but you're moving your leg in a different pattern, so it's a little more difficult. As you can see, I almost fell over myself. And then by reaching out, it makes it a little more difficult to stabilize in your core as well, which Morgan mentioned earlier that that's one of the main reasons why we fall. Yeah?
Isn't that the new dance or something?
It could be, yeah, like,
okay.
for sure.
I was going to learn it from my grandkids.
There you go. If you want to make that a progression, feel free. I mean, that's pretty, yeah, that's a balance for sure. Yeah. And then number 9, we have a wide balance drill. So this one, it looks kind of complicated in the picture, but it's really pretty simple. You're going to be standing in position. Most of your weight's on one leg. And then from that position, you're going to reach up, touch, reach back and diagonal, touch, and then reach back the opposite way and touch. So what this works on is really like your hip mobility and then the flexibility of how far you can really touch. So the better you get at it, the more you can reach back and touch. And then obviously that makes the Y letter with the direction you're reaching. That's why it's called the Y balance drill. And then number 10 would just be a simple like static lunge. So you get in like a staggered stance, and then you just go down into like a squat almost while your legs are apart. And again, if you need to, you can use a chair for balance, or to progress it, you can even add a little bit of weight by holding it up by your chest.
He's all the way on the floor, so what you do, put a pillow up under there?
You can, for sure.
Or you can
Absolutely.
Like
You don't even have to go.
I just go like,
Yeah, you don't have to go all the way down.
because I can't even go.
Okay.
So yeah, perfect, great question. And so those are 10 exercises that help with more of the balance side of balance and flexibility. So you feel free to try it out sometime. And now Ken will talk about flexibility.
Alright, so kind of as I mentioned earlier, right, flexibility is just the range of motion you have in joints or a group of joints. And so I have 5 reasons here why having good flexibility is beneficial. So number 1, it reduces low back pain. And so as people age and all that, we tend to get osteoarthritis and spinal stenosis and that sort of stuff. And so really what that is, spinal stenosis is a narrowing of the nerve channels, right? So while we can't alleviate spinal stenosis, one thing that stretching can do is get rid of some of those symptoms and help alleviate that pain. And then number 2, it reduces the risk of falling. And so flexibility drills, research shows that regular bouts of stretching are critical to balance and stability, helping prevent us against falls, especially the flexibility of the leg muscles and the hip joints. And so one thing that is very crucial for balance are the hips, right? And so if you think about it while we're walking, like your hips are constantly moving, it's kind of a driving force behind us moving around and all that. And so if we can increase our hip mobility and our hip flexibility, then there is a less chance of falling and being off balance. Number 3 is stretching can improve poor posture. So, especially in this day and age with technology and a lot of people having office jobs, kind of hunched over and sitting all day. And so what that tends to lead to is that poor posture, then that leads to the lower back pain, the rounded shoulders, you know, and then just pain generally all over. And so stretching, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time, you know, like say you're at your desk, you know, stand up for a few minutes, just kind of stretch a little bit and relax. That helps negate that poor posture, those bad habits, and then down the road also helping with pain. Yeah.
Don't you think too also, you said bad posture, but also working with your core as you sit in the chair and try to hold your core maybe for a few, 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something. If you can do it, how long it can take.
Yeah,
Don't you think that helps?
Yeah, it definitely could, yeah.
Back pain. I got arthritis down in my lower back too.
Yeah. No, and see, that's one of the things that, say you do have an office job, right? And people are always like, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym, you know, like I don't have time to go work out for an hour after. Little things like that where you're doing it throughout the day, you know, even if it's for a couple minutes, like that's helping you. You know, like yeah, you're not going to the gym and doing everything at once, but you're helping yourself there. Number 4, so stretching increases blood flow and energy levels. And so if we want to go right back off that, right, you're at the desk all day, you're starting to get tired, you know, you ate lunch an hour ago, it's starting to digest, you're starting to get tired. So stand up, hitting some stretches, doing something just to get moving, gets that blood flow, it raises your energy levels, so then you're ready to go the rest of the day. The 5th thing that stretching helps with is kinesthetic awareness. And so what that is just knowing where your body is in motion. So say you're going to drink a cup of coffee, it's just you knowing where your hand's going to be at. So it's also referred to as muscle memory. And so as we age, again, that's one of the things that starts to deteriorate is that muscle memory, that kinesthetic awareness. And so just simple stretching drills like that help with that. Do you have a question or you just?
Oh, no, that's just.
Alright. So one example I like to use with that actually is basketball fans in here. So Michael Jordan, right, he made that free throw without looking. And so part of that, right, is because he practiced that free throw shot thousands of times, right? He made how many, he shot how many. And so he knew, just after so many repetitions and all that, that he didn't even have to look to see where his hands needed to be, how hard he had to shoot it. It just came natural to him because of all that practice.
Okay, so guys, I'll be talking about stretching in yoga poses.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we'll be doing like the same thing they did. We'll be going, start from the left, go down, and then there's 3 columns there as well. So the first one is hip flexor stretch. As Morgan's going to demonstrate. You can put a pillow under your knee as well if you have bad knees. You can also do this standing up as well with a chair as well if you need for balance on both sides, so if you can just hold on to it. So it's easier to maintain that balance, but if you get better at it, as you work with your balance and you can work with not using a chair, and we'll be doing that awareness like Kenton said.
Would you say like 10, 15, 20 of them?
Yeah, so
It'd
it'd be like a hold.
Yeah, so you could
stretch
just be
them, like,
holding it.
maybe like 15 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And then you really want to feel like right about here by your groin area, because that's where your hip's at. So it'll again, like talking about how Kenton said, like hip mobility.
If I hold it for 5 seconds,
Yep.
would I do 10 of them or would I do?
Probably about 5 each
Yeah,
side.
5
If you did
each side.
if you did 5 seconds, probably about 10 each side.
Yeah.
If you did 15 seconds, I'd say probably 5 each leg.
Okay.
So the second one would be the hamstring stretch. This is where you just reach down and just touch your toes and see how far you can go. I'm a catcher on the baseball team, so I can actually touch the floor as well. So I'm doing all these different stretches. I do them all the time, so I'm very flexible. So but otherwise, if you can't do it, we got these nice little bands at UIS. You can put it around your feet, and you can reach onto the bands, and it'll help you pull it, and it'll help you pull it down as well to get that nice feeling stretch. Say if you can't touch your toes, if you want to get a little more better feeling with it. The next one is the butterfly stretches when you sit on the ground. You're putting your feet together. As you get better, you can have your feet out wider, or you can put them closer for more advanced. Also, the other thing we do is putting their head towards the ground as well, getting that, stretching that lower back, and while it's getting that hip mobility. You probably want to put a pillow under because definitely the ground is definitely very hard.
Well, somebody's gonna be around to pick you up.
Collis will be right over.
Yeah.
Just a chair.
Yeah. All right. So those are the 3 stretches that we got. So the first one, first yoga pose that we got is the chair pose. So this is when you just have your knees bent, and your arms straight out. This is just flexing that quad muscle, the hamstring, the calf, keeping that core very nice and tight in the shoulders while stretching out the chest as well. This is also having that awareness. So if you don't, your balance is not as good, you can hold on to a chair. Just do it as well for just getting that lower body. Next is the mountain pose. Mountain pose is just more of just standing. No, hands down. Oh. Drink pose. Sorry about that. So when you're doing this one, just keep your feet shoulder width apart, and then just letting gravity pull your body towards the ground, feeling that when you're breathing, inhaling, and then breathing and exhaling, feeling that gravity just pull your body towards the ground, and stretching out all your shoulder muscles.
This is kind of like what Ken was talking about with the kinesthetic feeling. You're kind of just like feeling your body in this one. You're not doing much. You're just letting yourself breathe and feel yourself breathe.
Alright, next one, this is pretty close to your arms up. So this one, you can do it with one-legged, otherwise you can do it two legs by just keeping them shoulder width apart and keeping your arms up. This one is where you're keeping your core tight, keeping your shoulders up, as well as flexing them, working on that muscle. And the last one is the warrior pose. You do the warrior pose? I can do the warrior pose.
So it's similar to like that lunge motion that we had earlier, like the same setup with your feet being staggered.
That, and there's also, if you want to get more advanced, as I do a lot of yoga, you can put your feet down to like this and lunge into the thing, and then go down and see how far you can actually go. So this is just also having that kinesthetic awareness of just keeping knowing where you are on earth and how you're feeling the gravity pull you to the ground, and just breathing and making sure that your body, you're inhaling and then exhaling like the bad feeling. That's what you're supposed to be feeling.
So are there seated variations to these exercises as well?
Yeah, so you can actually,
Just a couple?
Yeah.
so for the hamstring stretch, you can actually just sit on the chair. Yeah, you should stand as well. So the hamstring stretch, you just sit on your chair, you can put your feet out, straight out, and you can just go and try to touch your toes. Or otherwise, if you can't do that, you just take the band and put it around your feet.
Looks like you can probably even take a towel.
Yeah, you can use towel as well. And just feel the band just pull you closer and closer to your feet as well.
One way with this hamstring stretch, right? So, like even I struggle sometimes to like keep my leg completely straight. But one thing is if you bring your toes up, like towards you, it'll stretch it more, so you don't have to actually lean as far forward.
So even maybe just doing those, practice putting your toes up would even give you a good stretch.
And also with another one with the chair pose, you can just literally sit in a chair and just put your arms up like this and just feel your shoulders and your lat muscles or your side muscles working as well as when they're pulling against the gravity. That can also work with the tree pose and the warrior pose as well by just moving your hands in different positions. So the warrior pose would just be just straight up with the ground. So when you're sitting down, and then the tree pose, you can just bring your arms out a little bit wider as well.
So like again, a lot of these yoga poses have to do with like that kinesthetic awareness that Kenton talked about. So like they're not mainly like, they're not very taxing, it's very simple poses, like the mountain pose where you're just kind of standing here. But it also makes you focus on like, okay, where is my balance coming from? So a lot of it would be like focusing on your core and focusing on how you're planted into the ground as well. That would help as well. So.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Okay, so some of these up here, when I got my hip done, I had to do them like march in place, but I couldn't probably march in place very long. And the calf raises. It was still kind of hard for me to do it's been about 7 months since I had surgery. And it wasn't from a fall, it was just from arthritis.
Okay.
That and have the hip replaced. But,
I've got a hip replacement too.
and plus I got 2 knees done. This one is 16 years old, and the other one is 14 years old, and I've never had no trouble with it. But some of these is beyond my
But you can do.
ability, yeah. Especially this one here. Yeah,
The hip flexor on.
and this one here.
How do you do on a Pilates ball? You try to Pilates
Can you
ball?
show some variations for those? The hip flexor and the butterfly, and can you think of?
I had a question for you guys too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have like 3 sessions, they said.
Yeah.
Now, you know we have a workout room upstairs, and sometimes you really don't know how to get on the treadmill right or get on the bike right. Well, maybe you guys take maybe 5 or 10 minutes and kind of take us up to the workout room and maybe help us before you go.
Yeah.
If we can get permission from our
Nice.
to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because all these are strapped. We do have machines upstairs.
Yeah.
And sometimes I go up there, I really don't know what I'm doing. We have weights,
Okay.
you know,
One of the
one you
groups
can
is
pull from
strength.
the wall,
Yeah.
you know, for your
Yeah.
legs or whatever.
Well, hopefully, so the 2 other groups that are coming after us, right? One is going to go over kind of strength training and what to do, and the other one is going to be like cardiovascular endurance, right? So hopefully by then we can get permission, and we'll let them know, those groups that are coming in, that this is what they want to learn about. So they'll take you through that.
We might be able to go up there really fast and just show them some tools that they could use on their own for stretching or balance or something.
And I do a little weight lift.
Well, I don't have a 10 pound over here. From the shoulder, so.
Yeah, it's all right. 10 pounds is still 10 pounds. That's it. It's all right. 10 pounds is still 10 pounds.
It's
Anything
not
else?
how much you can do, is to take an effort if you only do 1 or 2 a day or a week or however. Get a little schedule going.
Exactly, yeah.
And if you'll see the difference eventually.
Oh,
You should have been up here with us.
Yeah.
Huh?
You know, my son's a personal trainer. He just called me on the phone, so he made sure I came to this class.
We do like healthy steps.
Say again?
We do healthy steps. Today, every
Yeah,
Thursday.
we saw that on your.
And it's, you do if you can sit, stand, whatever, they adjust everything. That, you know, and you move your toes up and down, sideways, and back and forth, and, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
And like,
exactly.
if you stand on your toes, well, I can't stand, so you can still lift your toes.
Exactly.
And-
Exactly.
And this, and she adjusts things so we can do it.
Yeah.
And like I say, you sit or stand if you can.
Mhm. Very.
And, we work around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long, I mean, if you're doing something, you're doing something. Honestly, yeah. So.
Like I was thinking with the calf raises, like you could probably even do those sitting. You just lift your toes up and you can still feel it right here. So maybe that would help.
Well, I've been standing, hold on to the
Nice.
sink.
Yeah.
Counter.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
like marching.
Loretta does very well.
Yeah.
Healthy tries.
And then I have them give me a stretch band
Yeah.
that tie around my 1 ankle and then do that out to the side.
The side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good with that band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know. I have to invest in something. I have a little weight,
Yeah.
smaller.
So I'm trying to become the bionic old woman.
Yeah.
I just can't leap a tall building.
Not yet.
Not.
You guys have any other questions for us?
Well, we enjoyed you letting us come out and speak to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Need all the help you can get.